Hello, welcome back to Holy Discourse. We are going to talk about someone being denied a ride today. I'm going to watch I've seen it kind of floating around YouTube a little bit. I've seen, I think it was Matt Walsh that covered the same thing. I don't really know anything about it. I just seen his thumbnail and I seen Obese to Beast's thumbnail, and I don't mind the Daily Wire when it's conversations, like when they're sitting down conversating back and forth with each other. I find that interesting, but when they're just giving opinions, I feel like they're very rigid and they don't really see the other side of things or try to look at different perspectives. I thought the Obese to Beast one would be a good one because he was overweight and he lost a bunch of weight, and he can kind of give the perspective of both sides.
Body, like my body right now, is like my mind don't know that I'm this big. My mind does not know that I'm this big. So I be feeling like I could do everything. So when I walk in the gym, I feel like I'm fit.
I do not understand that feeling. As someone, I mean, I've lost 35 pounds, and I still have a lot more to go, but I still don't feel fit, man. Like, I'm still like, man, I have a lot to go. I have a lot to work on. I want to kind of be, like, slim and, like, fit. Like, I want to feel like I can... I want to get back into weights. I've just been running. And the reason I've been running is because I have no time for, like, anything else. And running is something that you can burn a lot of calories in a short period of time. So I've been going, like, 5 miles in an hour. So it's only taking an hour out of my day versus when I was in college. I was in the gym, like, I was in the gym all the time. Oh my goodness, was I in the gym all the time, doing weights and other stuff. I would practice running and stuff like that, mostly on the elliptical. Just to kind of strengthen my legs because you can kind of set resistance and stuff like that. But oh my goodness, do I feel so out of shape? And I've been sick for the past month too, so I've been going, like, yesterday I finally reached 4.5 again. And that was a lot of work. There was a lot of walking, and then there was a lot of jogging. So I was like, walk, jog, walk, jog, walk, jog, instead of just being like, okay, I'm going to jog for like 15 minutes and then give myself a 5-minute break and then jog again for like another, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes and then give myself a break. It was just like 3 minutes here of walking and then like 2 minutes here of jogging and then 3 minutes of here and then probably not what you're supposed to do on the treadmill, but I'm trying to get back up to strength. I'm still kind of coughing and sneezing and stuff like that, but I feel a lot better. I'm not 100%, but I feel so much better.
Today we are going to be talking about rapper, influencer, I guess you'd call her, Dank DeMoss, and she has been in a little bit of controversy recently because she uploaded a video to her Instagram where she alleges that she was not able to be picked up by her Lyft driver because he claimed that she was basically too large to fit into his car, and she recorded this whole thing. So the first thing that I wanted to do is just go over this initial video that she recorded this and she posted this on her own Instagram, and then it goes on to say, this MF said I can't fit in his car, so he got to cancel my ride. So let's watch this video.
What you saying?
Yeah, I got no space in my car is small.
I can fit in this car.
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What I'm gonna do about my money?
I'm gonna cancel you. You're not gonna be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the lift because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Bro, he's trying to be really nice right now. not trying to be mean, but if you've watched like My 600-Pound Life, and some of them are more 500, and I think, and that's, yeah, it says in the title that she's 500. A lot of them use bigger cars. I see one girl that was like driving, and literally she had the seat all the way in the back. So if she's sitting in the back too, there's no like adjustable seats. It's literally like you have to fit in a contained space. And if you have a small car already, like me trying to fit into a small car, like I'm not huge, but I'm overweight. And like I'm short too. So like that gives me an advantage of like leg room. Those small cars are they're small. Like my legs will barely fit. And I'm not a tall person.
My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same size.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car, so I gotta order another Lyft?
Yeah. And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires.
What I got to do with your tires?
So he said, to be very specific with you, I have very tired tires, I think is what he said. So he basically said his tires are, maybe old or something. I don't know exactly what he's meaning by that.
Yeah, and
I don't
you
either.
have no space.
How you know I don't have no space?
Yeah, I got no.
Yeah, I can see him being like, I'm sorry, I don't have enough space, versus I have tired tires. That just seems like he's just trying to give an excuse to kind of get out of it a little bit. I would suppose that he did that to try to do the nicest, try to be nice as possible, but it was a little weird, but whatever.
How do you know I don't have no space?
Because I tried before.
Huh?
Because I've been in this situation.
So he said that he's been in this situation before, right? So maybe, obviously, I don't know. I don't know for sure if he's actually been in this situation, but he's saying that apparently he's had someone that was in a larger body that maybe tried to get into his car, and there were problems because of it, right?
So every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
A bigger car.
No, I don't never have to order an Uber XL.
So he said there you have to order an Uber XL. For those of you that might not know, I'm assuming most of you do, or Lyft XL or whatever. There's the XL version, which is usually a bigger car. A lot of times people will get it, like, say if they're traveling to the airport or something, have a lot of luggage, or there's a few people that are going to be going, you'll order that because it's a bigger vehicle, right?
I was gonna say we've had to order that before, me and my friends, because there was a lot of us that went on a trip, and so we had to make sure that we were all gonna fit, because we weren't gonna fit in a normal size car when there's, we're gonna look like a clown car at that point.
Normally.
Then I'm really sorry.
What's your name?
Abraham Carter.
Okay. Nope.
So that's the initial video that kind of sparked a lot of this controversy, and I wanted to read a couple of the comments because I feel like they're interesting, right? So this is the top comment that I'm seeing, at least on my Instagram. So it says, most drivers would have canceled the ride and left her standing out there. At least he was honest, even though she's in denial. People have gotten so complacent with sugarcoating things that it's almost a crime when you tell the truth. Then we immediately say it's discrimination, it's racism, it's prejudice, it's this, it's that. No, queen, it's your reality standing in your face because you're constantly running from it. The driver said nothing wrong and he was respectful. I do feel he was as respectful as you can be when you're denying someone a service, I guess.
Exactly,
the
yeah.
entire time. He never once called her out of her name, called her fat, or addressed her issue negatively. He simply gave her a suggestion that was plausible. He told the truth. The only reason she is causing a scene is because, one, her self-esteem was hurt, so the only revenge she could get would be to ruin this man's life using social media. Two, she has a platform.
Like, don't get me wrong. I do understand her perspective of like, it's hard to be called a bigger person. I've been in that situation where people are like, oh, you're like, you're bigger. It hurts. But I mean, at the same time, I can't deny that, you know, I am overweight.
Fans, which is a pacifier to help her feel better. Now, of course, I am not here to bash or make this queen feel worse. I am also a plus-size woman, not proud of it, but it is reality. However, you cannot be offended or upset when reality hits and it hurts. And I think that that's a really, really good comment, and I think a genuinely pretty positive comment, and just kind of sharing how this person feels, right?
Yeah.
And then the next comment, y'all love to throw out the word sue, which is kind of foreshadowing. We'll get into that. This man is protecting his car. If I was her driver, I probably would have said the same thing. And then that's bold of you that you even posted this for him to lose his account. You know you're too big for that car, so yes, you're wrong. Let's be realistic. So a lot of the, a lot of the comments kind of echo that, right? And so she kind of went on to post this. So she posted.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the dude was trying to be really nice and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I just, like, I know you're not going to fit in my car. Like, I'm going to have to cancel your drive. I'm going to give you your money back from canceling it. Like, he's not taking anything of hers, you know. It's not like he just took the money and was like, okay, I'm not going to give you a service, which, you know, that's fraud. So I mean, I think he tried to handle the situation the best that he could, and that's all you can do.
This video, which we can't really listen to, but we can watch because the audio obviously will be get copyrighted. But she says, me trying to get Lyft to not discriminate against my weight and let me in the car, would you have let me in? And then again, so it's her kind of dancing to I think it's a Sexy Red song. And then again, this top comment is, I think, very interesting and kind of sheds a little bit of light on the situation, right? So it says, I am a full-time Uber/Lyft driver. We are independent contractors, not employees. We are using our own vehicles, and if we do not feel comfortable with the situation, we can deny service. The only time we cannot deny service is when people have service animals. This is really important. I've denied entry to a woman only wearing a thong. I didn't want her bare ass in my seat. I've denied people for trying to use my personal vehicle as a moving van. I've denied service to people who are visibly sick and couldn't walk on their own, drunk. I've denied service to a man covered in blood. I've denied thousands of parents for not having car seats, which is the law. My point is that it's my vehicle, and if I don't feel comfortable taking someone, I won't. I've lost 140 pounds when I was bigger. I knew I had to move differently. This wasn't a personal attack on you. He didn't want you in his vehicles because he didn't feel that you could fit. I watch bigger and tall people struggle in and out of my Prius. If a situation arose where I knew it would make my rider uncomfortable, I would cancel and do the same. With no back and forth, Lyft is not at fault for, and neither is the driver. Sorry if this is an inconvenience, but you're not a victim of discrimination, right? So a lot of, again, I feel kind of similarly, but basically the way that I feel is what that person said, which I think is really interesting, is that Lyft drivers and Uber drivers, right? You're a private contractor and you are driving your car to do this stuff. And I've had, plenty of family members that have done these different things. And a lot of times people can absolutely take advantage of that. I'm sure.
I was going to say, if someone trashes your car or does whatever to your car, Lyft's not going to be like, oh, I'll pay for it. Like, you work for us. Like, so a customer was being bad or whatever the situation might be. Let me pay for it. It's not, like they said, it's independent contractor. So if you think something's not going to work out or something like that, you just have to be like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to cancel.
You've seen multiple videos of people taking advantage of Uber and Lyft drivers and just kind of treating their car like it's their own. And I think that with this situation, and I know that people are going to compare this to, oh, well, if this person was, a person of color, or if this person was gay, or if this person was whatever, then, and they were refused service, then that would be unacceptable. But this is, I think.
Well, yeah, but like race versus weight. Like, weight is something that you can change. It's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy. It took me over a year to lose like 35 pounds. Trust me, I know it's not easy, but it's something that you can change. Versus the color of your skin. You can't really change that. You can't really, you can't just deny the color of your skin.
in my opinion, not the same thing. And this is what I always talk about. I get frustrated when people will compare size discrimination to the same level of discrimination as, you know, your skin color or your sexual orientation. I feel like those are really different things, and comparing them really is frustrating to me because I feel like it trivializes those other things. One thing that I did want to mention before we move on is that when I first saw this clip, because when Rachel first sent it to me, shout out Rachel, Lyft had actually had, I think they were, it was a pinned comment, I'm pretty sure, and it was at the very top where they were showing support, right? They were like, hey, we think that this is wrong, we don't agree with this. So it seemed that Lyft, the company, was, you know, not a huge fan of it. I don't know why I'm not seeing it anymore. Okay, here, I was able to actually find it. So it's right here. So this is the Lyft account, right? Has the blue check mark. Please know that we don't condone discrimination of any kind, and we are really committed to making things right for you. Please reach out to us directly so we can investigate this matter further, ensure it is addressed appropriately, and as soon as possible. We're looking forward to hearing from you soon. So it seemed like they were obviously willing to, you know, have a conversation about this. Now, I think it's important to talk about the fact that it seems that they are going to be suing, I'm assuming Lyft, because I mean, I doubt that you're going to be suing the driver in this situation. But this is a clip from Fox 2 Detroit. So this is where this happened, where they kind of talk about the whole situation. So let's go ahead and watch this.
Tonight on The Edge, a Detroit rapper is going viral for something other than her music.
Fans know her as Dank DeMoss, and they're fuming after a Lyft driver allegedly denied her a ride because of her size. And Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack is live in Detroit with this story. And my goodness, tell us how this all unfolded here, Jessica.
Well, it all unfolded on video. Deja Banlane whipped out her phone when this all happened. Now, the Lyft driver, he was kind enough and apologetic, but refused her a ride and said that she would not fit and that her weight couldn't be handled by his tires. Now she's filing a lawsuit.
Have you been in cars that size before?
Yes, I have. I've been in cars smarter than that, you know.
Deja Blanding tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
So I don't deny, or I don't think that she's lying about being able to fit in the car. I honestly am sure that she probably could have at least definitely fit in the, you know, in the back seat. Do I think that she would have been able to, you know, buckle a seatbelt and it be safe? I don't entirely know. And then that's where it's like, if someone can't fit in a quote unquote legal way, right? They cannot put on their seatbelt. Who is responsible, right? Say if something happens, there's an.
I was gonna say, I think it depends on the state, but I think a lot of times it's just maybe the driver that gets in trouble, or whoever owns the car, I'm assuming, which in this case would be the driver.
An accident and you know someone is hurt and the seatbelt would have certainly helped them, right? Whose fault is that? Especially if like the seatbelt wouldn't fit. Who is Lyft supposed to just always have a seatbelt extender for every, you know what I mean? Like I don't really know exactly what the situation, what the best, you know, course of action would be, but I definitely think that if you are in a bigger car that is more accommodating for someone that's in a larger body, that would probably not be as big of an issue versus someone that's, you know, in a car like this. I remember when I had my Mustang, I wasn't actually thinking about doing it, but I was just curious, and I realized, oh, you can't do it if you have a coupe. Like you have to have a four-door, and so you know there are certain rules. So I'm wondering if that would have, you know, played a role in why he wasn't comfortable with it, because I'm sure that if he had a few people that ended up being the same, so say you have two people that are 300 pounds, right? That's going to be more than her, because I think she said she weighs like 500. So that's going to be more weight. Would he have been so against having those people in the car? I don't know. You know, I can't say for sure, but they would have definitely fit better, right? The seatbelt would have definitely fit them. And so I don't know. But that was definitely something that I thought about. Like, you know, if there's two 300-pound people, or even a 250-pound person and another 250-pound person, that equals 500 pounds. Shout out to math. I'm very good at it. Okay, let's keep watching this. Sorry.
You can fit in his car?
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me.
He told her there's not enough room in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. You know, I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like my tires, you know, like.
The driver said his tires could not handle her.
Yeah, the tire thing is a little weird, but I think it's, again, an excuse, almost, to try to be like, oh no, like, just don't, I'm just canceling your stuff, like, you know, maybe like a nervous thing, and he said it, and, yeah, it's stupid to say, but, I don't know.
weight.
Every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order the Uber XL.
No, I don't never have to order Uber XL.
I mean, I will say that his car definitely sounds like it's struggling already. So
Apologized, canceled the ride, and left her there. The rapper says she's pretty tough.
I just want them to know, like, it really hurt my feelings.
It looks like Lyft might be hurting pretty soon.
I definitely understand. I can empathize with the fact that your feelings are hurt, right? That would be embarrassing, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. That would not be fun to go through. You know, I think probably almost everyone on the planet has probably had someone pick on them about their weight, whether they're too skinny or too fat or too whatever, and understand that feeling.
But at the same time, is it like, I'm so curious, like, because there are plenty of people that haven't been able to fit on roller coasters, right? That happened to me before, right? That happens to so many people. Should we, would it be fair to sue the roller coaster, right? Like, I'm assuming a lot of those rules and safety things are in place because they don't want people getting hurt. And so it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what the best course of action would be, but I don't know. I don't feel like these lawyers that.
I think the thing is like, roller coasters, you kind of expect that. Like, you kind of expect, oh, you have to be a certain height. Oh, you have to be a certain weight or certain whatever. But with cars, it's, I guess, not as normalized.
Dank DeMoss have the best interest in mind, to be honest.
I knew it was illegal and I knew that it was wrong.
Her attorneys, John Marco and Zach Runyon, say weight is a protected characteristic in Michigan by law.
It would be no different than a driver pulling up and saying, I don't want to have black people in my car, or I don't want to have Christians in my car or Muslims in my car. It's the same. Under the law, it's the same.
So I think that's really important that because he says under the law, it's the same. And I think that's where this really matters. I think obviously everyone's going to have their different opinion on whether or not it's different. I personally have always said that I think that, your weight is a very different characteristic than your sexual orientation or your, skin color, right? But I feel like, comparing it to your skin color, like your sexual orientation, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. But again, just how I feel is not what the law thinks, right? So I am curious as to see where this ends up going, right?
Lawsuit is filed. Since she posted the encounter on social media, other full-figured folks have reached out saying the same thing happened to them.
I really want people to see, like, what we go through as bigger people,
We did reach out to Lyft. They did not get back with us in time for this story. Now, Lyft, Uber, those rideshare companies, they can refuse passengers based on a perceived security threat. But according to Deja's attorneys, you cannot discriminate based on someone's weight. It's very clear in that cell phone video. That is why he denied her ride. Reporting live on Detroit's West Side, Jessica Dupnack on the Ad.
But again, I think the other side of a legal defense would be if she couldn't fit in the car or she couldn't buckle up, then that makes probably him liable. One, if they get in a crash, or two, if they get pulled over. And the police officer's like, well, why isn't she wearing a belt? Because it's illegal in the U.S. I think some states you can in the back. You can not have a seatbelt in the back. But I believe Michigan you have to.
Came out of this, and there's one other video that I wanted to go over, which comes from this account called S-Boy Promotions, where it goes on to say, Dank is the epitome of confidence. We're rooting for you every step of the way, right? And it goes on to say, under this, it says, my mind doesn't know my body is this big. And I feel like this might explain a lot of the feelings that, she has based on this, right?
My body right now is like my mind don't know that I'm this big. My mind does not know that I'm this big. So I be feeling like I can do everything. So when I walk in the gym, I feel like I'm fit. Or like if I'm trying to do certain shit, I feel like I could do it. And then I be like, damn, I can't do this shit. But in my head, I'm like, damn, I can do this. I'm gonna walk over there. Shit, I be going in the gym in front of all those people, 500 pounds in shorts, no shirt. Well, I have on a sports bra, but
So, so she, she's saying there that she doesn't perceive herself as big as she is, right? And I feel like that probably really plays into the whole, like, her being surprised, especially, you know, in that original clip. Like, it's clear that she is surprised about this whole thing, surprised being denied the ride because of her size, because she probably just doesn't see herself as that large. And that's something that I can relate to when I was at my heaviest. I was someone that really avoided mirrors, and I really didn't like to look at them, and I would avoid pictures. And so I think, like, when I look back at, you know, me at my heaviest, I really, like, it's like, wow, I don't even remember seeing myself that big because I would intentionally avoid looking at.
I kind of get that. When I gained a lot of weight, it was like, not that it snuck up on me. I don't know how to describe it. I just didn't, like, if I don't go on the scale that often, like, I don't realize, even, like, when I'm looking at myself, like, that I'm gaining weight. So I have to step on the scale, like, every single day to kind of, like, it's, I think it's an ADD thing of, like, you know, out of sight, out of mind. And so I was like, oh, I could still do the things that I did, like, a couple years ago. But then, like, I stepped on the scale and I was like, oh, I've gained a lot of weight. Because before that, I was at the weight that I was now, and I gained like 35 pounds. Actually, it's probably a little bit less than I am now. So I probably gained more, like 40, 45 pounds. And like, I don't know, I just didn't realize it. So yeah, I kind of understand
how large I was, right? And so I didn't even realize how big I was. So at the end of the day, I think that this is really interesting. I can understand her being upset and it hurting your feelings. I think that it's taking it a step too far to, you know, do the whole suing thing, and especially, like, you know, putting this dude's face and his name out there and trying to get him in, like, trouble, because it doesn't seem like it was he was intentionally trying to be discriminatory or trying to, like, really hurt someone's feelings. It seemed like he was genuinely concerned for his car and maybe the safety of Dank DeMoss, right? And just the whole situation. Mm-hmm. It's a really tough situation. I don't know, and I don't know what the, you know, overall legal proceedings will be. I don't know. Maybe Lyft will just end up, like, you know, settling out of court and pay a certain amount of money. Who really knows, right? But I think that the whole situation is definitely tough. I can understand and I can empathize with her, but at the same time, like, when you get to a certain size, like, there are things that you will not be able to do and that you cannot do. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like Dank DeMoss is at this level where she's right at the precipice of, like, things getting a lot worse, right? Being immobile, a lot more immobile, not being able to leave the house as much, like, all of that stuff, like, you know, she won't be, like, eventually it genuinely will happen where she cannot fit into a car, right? We see that on my...
I was going to say that, or even being... like, being 500, going, obviously she's touring and stuff like that, so she's active, she's on her feet, so she's probably, as long as she keeps doing what she's doing, she's probably not going to go bedbound. But, you know, if she got sick, or if she, I don't know, like, if she gained more weight, like, it can get to that point. And it can get to the point of, like, you not be able to fit in, like, any car, or, you know, it can get to that point. And with being 500, yeah, there's going to be a lot of restrictions of you're not going to be able to fit and stuff, and you're not going to be able to do this or that. It's like, you know, not being taller, I can't reach certain stuff, so I have to climb up and grab stuff, and, you know, my height plays a factor. You know, I'm done growing, so I'm not going to get any taller, but, you know, it's not like weight where that can be changed. But at the same time, I think it's a good analogy of, like, you know, certain characteristics of your body will let you do things others can't, or will restrict you where others can do stuff.
600-pound life, and yeah, she isn't 600 pounds, but she says that she's 500, right? And so she's not all that far off to where those people literally cannot fit in cars. They have to be transported via like minivans, right? That's the only way that they can do it, right? So like that is a reality of the situation. And so while I understand your feelings being hurt, at the same time, like if you continue down this road, that will absolutely be your future. That will happen. You will not be able to fit in certain vehicles, right? That is just a fact. We have seen it over and over again. And so, is it, Abraham's job to, smack some sense in her? No, I don't think, and I don't think that's what he was trying to.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard situation because you're dealing with a lot of feelings and you're dealing with a lot of emotions, but at the same time, it's one of those things like you have to also face reality. And reality can suck.
Do, right? But it seems that the general consensus on social media are people like, hey, I'm not sure if I agree with this. I think that this is a little over the top. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.